Okay, so it's probably a better thing to use as an as an example. But like, there's a bit where the sun goes down, and they play to sort of bang when it goes down to try and force a jump scare. You know, they sort of play like that sort of sound. Not that exact one, but something similar to basically everything that happens. Um, and just the twist of the episode didn't work out well. So I'll just describe the episode. A woman is having trouble getting pregnant, so she's been going the IVF for a long time, but it just doesn't work. Eventually, the receptionist says, "Here, take this trinket, place it under your bed, and if you have it on your bed while you have sex, you will 100% get pregnant." Cut to 16 months later, it worked. And despite the fact that they aren't rich because the girl's like boyfriend or husband or whatever is an actor, but so far he's only been like playing people with no names or people with no lines at all. And cut to 16 months later, he still hasn't got any good parts yet. But somehow they're able to afford a mansion and a maid. That's nothing to do with the episode, it's just a continuity error. Anyway, the woman starts to see a demon sort of looking over their baby, and like she keeps on trying to get rid of the demon, but it just doesn't work. And then she tells her husband doesn't believe her. She tells everyone no one believes her. And then eventually she gets locked up in a mental asylum, and it's revealed that everything that has happened is fake. Like her boyfriend slash husband, the actor, has a bunch of friends, you know, like makeup, props, other actors, etc. And they were all able to set it all up and make it look like a demon was trying to take their baby. But then the actual demon appears and kills all of them, but leaves the husband alone, so that the husband gets the blame and gets locked up. Because... Oh, and the receptionist is having an affair with the boyfriend. But we don't actually know how long this has been going on for. This part makes no sense. Well, and the fact that they revealed it terribly. It was exposition. It wasn't a proper reveal. So they planned it from the very start. So this man has been having an affair with the receptionist for a long time, because of what the receptionist said. It's clear that they've been going on at least 2 years, which makes no sense to the story. I can't really explain it. You would just have to watch the episode yourself. But anyway, the receptionist eventually gives the girl like a page to summon the demon, but the page is fake, so it doesn't work. But then in the mental asylum, the girl tries it again, and somehow it works. And that's why the demon killed everyone. And then at the end, it's like, can I please go now? Yeah, I'll do like the spell to send you away, which I don't think that's how it works. But anyway, but first, have sex with me. Give me another review, you know. So, yeah. And also, I watched double feature. Or, what's it called? Red Tide, I think. Hold on. Okay, so Red Tide is what I watched. Also, something about this intro was that it makes no sense. So they used, despite the fact the intro is basically the same every season, this one they stole from Asylum, because Asylum has a massive sort of static bang to the first credit for Asylum, Sacred Quinto, for Red Tide, Sarah Paulson. And then when it reveals the title for Asylum, American Horror Story Asylum, and for Red Tide, American Horror Story Red Tide, it sort of has like gate closing sound effect. Both those, well, the gates closing sound effect makes no sense to Red Tide. As for Asylum, makes sense because it's an asylum. You're trapped. Anyway, the confusing part is that there's another bit to double feature because it's a double feature. Red Tide and something else. According to Wikipedia, Red Tide is by the sea, and the other thing is by the sand. And it's all about like Amelia Earhart and Dwight D. Just historical figures. Where? Where is it? So it seems that there's 10 seasons of double feature, and I expect that either every episode is going to cut back and forth between Red Tide and the By the Sand thing, which I'm just going to call Blue Tide. Or the first episode is going to be Red Tide, the second episode is going to be Blue Tide, the third episode is going to be Red Tide, etc. Or the first 5 episodes are going to be Red Tide, and episodes 6 to 10 is going to be Blue Tide. All 3 of those theories are incorrect, because episode 6 is still Red Tide. By the fact that Sarah Paulson plays tuberculosis Karen, when in Blue Tide she plays a different character. But let's try episode 5 and episode 4 and see if she's credited as tuberculosis Karen. Tuberculosis Karen. Tuberculosis Karen. And given the fact that this is really bad ratings, I assume that this might be the last episode of the thing. So hopefully this is Blue Tide. Also, I didn't like Red Tide. I'm willing to give Blue Tide a try. If this is Blue Tide. Ah, okay. It's just really confusing. Because what happened was that there was no season last year because of coronavirus. They're like, oh yeah, what, oh, and they didn't even have a plan. Because Ryan actually had to put out a poll on Instagram for what we wanted. It was like, do you want sirens? Do you want, I hate the fact that I'm superstitious. I don't want to be superstitious because I don't believe in it. I can't help it. But like I can't say her name because if you do it, her, the plague, or something else. I voted for the plague because that's interesting for AHS, despite the fact that they would have to either hire English actors or get these people to do English accents, which isn't going to do well. So yeah, I'm going to give Blue Tide, or whatever hell this is called, a try. But no, I can't be bothered. Also, it's weird to see Macaulay Culkin play a gay guy. Another thing I forgot to mention about Stories is that it uses the same intro, which I don't think it should. Because American Crime Story and Scream Queens use different intros. This means as of 8 p.m. on Sunday, the 3rd of October 2021.
Neil Staples still can't believe what he heard while playing the video game Portal 2 with his 10-year-old adopted daughter, Zoe.
All right, fatty, adopted fatty, no parents.
I really hope this comes from The Onion, because the dad should realise that the people who made Portal 2 don't know this person, don't know this family. Like, it wasn't directed at them. And the daughter, she isn't the only orphan in the world.
Fatty.
The only thing I feel about Red Tide is that they should have hired Angela Bassett to do the cop. Like, I know she's busy with 911, but I think they could do that because same people, technically the same network. Also, for some reason, American Horror Stories is an FX on Hulu original. Because you know way that on like Amazon Prime, you can't watch everything. You have to get subscriptions for certain things like HBO. Well, imagine if instead of HBO making a show, HBO made a show that you exclusively watch on Amazon Prime HBO. That's what FX has done for some reason. But anyway, this is Twitter as of 27 to 9 p.m. on Sunday, the 3rd of October 2021. Wait, Kingdom Hearts? Wait, so Sora is actually... Is this just a meme, or is Sora in? Yeah, you say that, I didn't know that Schitt's Creek was, father and son in real life. Yeah, I knew that. You can tell by the eyebrows. What about Snake? Snake is not trending. No context woman is a fat, trans, non-binary lesbian. Gamma accounts breaking character falls don't toss so now. So now I don't know if he views these kinds of breaks as good. You're not a revolutionary, you're a grooming victim. The other runners are an illusion, the real race is with yourself. Unless your wife and kids are working, they're not wealth accumulating assets, get rid of them. Hustle Twitter be like.
When the far right calls the far left snowflakes, eat that.
Wow, you have, wow, I can't hear you over the music. You're gonna get me copyrighted. Shots, watch out. I did the Stone Toss thing. October date. Amogus. I don't put Amogus in my colleagues. Y'all are seeing things. You were once sperm. The reason governments are going full off trading vaccines and wiping out corona is because the age most at risk of death the same age man behind the curtain. Australian hospitals over capacity with people beaten by police for not wearing masks. I don't think this comes from the Babylon Bee, it seems true. Boss warns all new employees he will fire immediately if people on Twitter tell him to. I'm counting down the days until one of my staff gets in trouble for tweets. He said what? LMAO based. But when you find out you were not married because you can get half of stuff. You'll enjoy New World. It's been a while since an MMO came out that didn't feel like copy paste of its predecessors. Try not sing along to the songs in Little Baby Bum because I know all of them by heart at this point. I'm in life dress for silent dress the baby. Cough girlfriend, she also a small cute fairy baby. Nice job, Marcus. I'm very real and say I'm a lucky guy. Your life is tiny. Tiny wife or really big baby, you decide. Marcus, would you rather fight 100 baby-sized horses or one horse-sized baby? Fight 100 babies. You can't take me down for sex and nudity for this, it's a statue.